Hey guys, so I'm right in the middle of building a big built-in unit. It's cabinets underneath and desktop, then shelves up above. And so I'm at the stage now I have to build the countertop. So it's 22 inches wide by 123 inches long, inch and a half thick of solid oak. So I'm actually going to cut the boards and glue them up on their edges to give it a little more strength. Done this little prototype here. Not sure if this will focus in on it or not. See, all the boards are 3/4 inch thick, inch and a half tall. So almost gives it a quarter saw and grain pattern, so it should be less prone to moving. Shot of the lower cabinets just give you a little better idea of what I'm talking about. So there's going to be a 5-foot desk between those right there. So there's two of these big shelves. One goes above each cabinet. Then this shelf here stand up on its end. It goes between the two shelves up above, connects them, kind of like a header across the two. The desk surface in the center. So I'm gonna take all this old scrap MDF I have and build up that glue-up counter. Problem is my shop is only 20 by 20, so I gotta build it, probably span it from this work table over to the workbench. Can be a bit tight in here, but we'll make it work. Got all the oak brought inside. I've had it stored inside now for probably 3.5 years, so it should be good and dry. I'll have to pick and choose through it a little bit. There's a little bit of live edge stuff there, but should be enough material. So the problem is such a small shop is planing 9-foot boards. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to cut them all into random lengths first, just to shorten them up and go through the planer easier in such a short space. And plus, you got to be cutting random lengths anyway, so the glue joints are all staggered on the actual glue up when it gets to that stage. So I've changed up my plan a little bit. I've just cut this much in half, or in random lengths right here. I'm going to plane it down and get started with it before I cut up the rest of the stack and plane it down, just to make sure everything's going to work like I had planned before I cut up everything. So I've got this stuff all planed down, and I ran one edge to the jointer. I'm going to set my table saw to 1.5 inches and cut it all into strips. I had planed up the rest of the lumber. I just had to rip it down and then get ready for some gluing. So I've got the glue up bench all prepped. I've got it shimmed up so it's as true as I can get it. A layer of parchment paper all laid out, ready to go. So I was just in at the hardware store. I've got these little rollers. I'm hoping that'll speed up the glue up process. I'll squirt it on with that and roll it around with the roller. So that's 5 rows all prepped, ready to go. So I think I should be able to clamp up that many at a time and keep ahead of the glue drying. And with that roller, I think should go fine. Okay, so that got stressful fast. I started gluing it up and discovered the roller was no good at all. It's hard to explain, the glue is like too thick and the roller doesn't want to roll it. So I switched to a foam brush. In the heat of the moment, never had time to turn the camera back on. So that's the first 5 glued up. They've been in here now 20 minutes. I'll give them another 10 or 15. And then I'll do the second row. I'm going to start prepping the second row right now. Okay, so 5 more rows prepped, ready to go. let's get gluing. So I'm getting there. This is probably day 3 since I started this video, with other projects on the go as well. This is 20 rows, all glued up. There are some imperfections in it, like some of the butt joints. There's little gaps in some of the butt joints, but I don't think that'd be a problem. I'm going to fill that in later during the finishing stage. So the bad news is I've got 5 more rows to put on yet. I've only got enough wood left for about 1.5. So I've got to dig out the planer again, shuffle everything around, plane a couple more boards down, rip them all down, joint them, just to finish up the last 5 rows. So I've let it sit overnight. No noticeable cupping or anything yet, so that's promising. So now I'm just going to take the old scraper chisel and scrape all the excess glue off it, and then start planing it down, see how it goes. I think that's actually going to work quite well. It's going to take a bit of time, but it's going to work good. So that planer is actually working really well. It's going really nice, and I've been checking it with a straight edge now and again, just crossways, make sure I'm not getting it too concaved or anything, and it's cleaning up nice. But before I do the final pass, this is going to be the top side here. Before I do the final pass, I'm going to flip it over and just rough out the backside. I'm not going to make it real smooth on the backside, just to keep it as thick as possible. Just kind of get rid of any obvious edges. I got studying it and realized it might get a little thin on the outside edge. This is going to be the front of the desk, this edge. And so the last few pieces I had to rip. I ripped them an extra 1/8 of an inch thick. That way I could keep that front edge looking a little thicker and still smooth this down a little bit. So that's what I can tell there's about an 1/8 of an inch ridge all the way across. So I'm just going to give this a quick once over with the electric plane, and that's going to be it for this side. So while the bench is still upside down, I'm going to cut it to length. So I mark where I want the cut, measure back 1.5 inches, and clamp this board on here for a straight edge. That allows for the offset in my circular saw. Page wood filler, just kind of massage it into some of the imperfections in some of the glue joints, and then while that's drying out, I'm going to clean up the shop. Decided before I get into sanding, I'm actually going to soften the edges with an 1/8 of an inch round over bit in the palm router. I went over it with the belt sander with 50 grit, then 80 grit, and then switched to the palm sander with I think there's 150 grit in there now. So we wanted something dark, but yet that would let the warmth of the wood come through. So we're going with the Minwax ebony stain. So I got caught up in the moment and forgot to record the first coat of hand rubbed varnish on here, but I'm loving it so far. Now the lighting is a little off because it's dark outside and there's just LED pot lights in the workshop here. So now I'm gonna rub it down with steel wool lightly, then put the second coat on, which is probably gonna be the last coat, I'd imagine. It's just really thick. Okay guys, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe if you did. Should be another video showing the complete install of this built-in unit probably in a week or two. I just got to get the cabinets painted, and then you'll see this countertop in its final resting place in our living room. And that's it. Take care. Thanks for watching.